Today's video is sponsored by Audible. Mercenary campaigns are the cornerstone of some of my favorite D&D campaigns, and if you're looking for inspiration, you need to listen to Kings of the Wild. It takes the mercenary trope and turns it up to 11. Download Kings of the Wild for free with a 30-day Audible trial. Choose one audiobook, and right now you also get unlimited Audible originals absolutely free. Visit audible.com/allthingsdnd or text allthingsdnd to 500-500. And now what you're here for. Dungeon Master tries to turn me into the BBEG against my will. Hi everyone, All Things D&D is back with another story. Players spend a lot of time, energy, and effort into making their character. In a small way, the character is a part of them. A DM should never try to change that character without the input of the player. Tell us how you would have handled this DM after listening to this. This was one of my first times ever playing D&D 5e, but not my first time playing a tabletop RPG. The cast, the DM, a good storyteller but had some distinct ideas of what D&D should be. Me, lawful evil paladin of unnamed dark gods. Cordial and pleasant at face value, darkly sadistic and manipulative in reality. Yes, he was basically Lorgar from 40k, face tattoos included. The cleric, the only newbie in the group, playing a neutral good cleric. A little stereotypical super nice young girl that always saw the best in people and was a little ray of sunshine, yada yada yada. Great at role-playing, though did get confused here and there about particular rules and mechanics on occasion. Warlock, fighter, ranger, rogue. Not super important to the goings-on of this campaign. They were decent players, but there is one important fact. All of them were either true neutral, chaotic neutral, or lawful neutral. In other words, sitting in the gray middle area of me and the cleric. So the first session, one of the first things we all do, as agreed, is tell each other about what our characters are, or at least what they appear to be to everyone else. Since we all agreed on the sanctity of out-of-character knowledge not being used by the characters without reason, I told them all about the truth of my character. Everyone agreed that it would be really interesting to have a naive good cleric and corrupting evil paladin fighting for control of the party. Skip a couple months. The campaign is pretty fun, if a little lacking in originality. A king had hired us to track down and slay a lich that was plaguing and terrorizing the land with armies of undeath. But the dynamics soon became apparent. My paladin was pushing the party to be increasingly bloodthirsty and merciless, often saying that the souls of our foes were damned and they were irredeemable, while the cleric tried to have cultists spared and seek retribution, and pleaded with the party to do the same. Eventually, the cleric found out about who my gods were and my alignment. During downtime, the cleric and my paladin met on a balcony and had a small chat, which culminated in an agreement. I would do all in my power to turn the party to my side, and the cleric the same. We would not attack or sabotage each other directly, as this was a test of the party's souls, their character. Mostly, this was an agreement between players, primarily to prevent PvP, despite however this went down. The first red flag was when the DM voiced his disappointment, telling us there was no reason our characters should not have attacked each other on sight. My character doesn't like attacking people she knows, and still thinks he can be saved, the cleric said. Mine likes to corrupt more than anything, and would prefer seeing to revoke her gods over killing her, I explained. The DM clearly isn't happy, but relents. The game continues. The tug of war within the party grows more and more, and I start noticing how even my failed roles to corrupt NPCs to my side start working. Soon enough, I elevate my faith from underground cult to state religion. I honestly get a little upset at this. It's clear the DM is fudging roles in my favor, throwing the balance of power in my favor, as I suddenly am crowned the Grand Cardinal of my faith, with a technical army of followers and a literal army of fanatics. I don't blame them, but when the party started more openly siding with the cleric to balance it out, I admit it did kinda hurt. They thought me and the DM were in league with each other. I told the DM I didn't like the blatant favoritism and told him to back up a bit. He feigned ignorance and refused to acknowledge the problem. This goes on for a while, and by now it's obvious the DM is trying to drive a wedge between me and the party, giving me unholy magical equipment and even artifacts relating to my dark faith, while the party were given nothing of the sort and had to rely on teamwork to match the sheer powerhouse that I had become. It got so bad that I forgot modifiers and outright refused to use some artifacts, just so I didn't end up becoming some terrible Mary Sue and ruin it for the rest of the party. This all came to a head at the end of the campaign. As we confronted the Lich, we began to battle, and I even took a small band of my NPC followers to use as meat shields and helpers, because if I was stuck with these sheeple, I was going to use them. The fight is harder than nails, and all but one of the NPCs are wiped out. The Warlock is unconscious, and the Cleric is almost out of spell slots. Suddenly, the Lich looks at me and casts Banishment on me. I'm about to roll saving throw, but the DM tells me it's unavoidable because this was some kind of uber banishment with infinite duration and no saving throws. I'm more than a little bit pissed, and the whole group continues the entire second half of the fight while glancing at me awkwardly as my last follower flees back to the city. After the fight is finished, the party begins divvying up the loot, again without me there, and I get saved by my followers, who happen to conveniently know the exact counterspell to the uber banishment and return me to the material world. There I find out the master plan is in action, and my cult was enacting my plot to take over the kingdom and bring the dark gods into the world. Of course, I never had a plan like that, the extent of my intentions as a character being to spread my faith far and wide, so all may know the glory of my dark gods. And this is where the finale truly lies. As the city burns around me, I am suddenly overcome with immense unholy power, giving me a massive stat, AC, and proficiency bonus, and the DM even gives me freaking legendary resistances. I am now the BBEG against my will. The party returns to the city to see it in flames, cultists running around killing people, demons among them, and the only building untouched being my giant cathedral, where the DM just straight up told them, "You feel the paladin residing," having revealed his true evil. I'm just kind of in shock at this point, a mix of absolutely pissed and in denial. This was never what I wanted, not what I wanted my character to become. My turns consist of directing my minions to stop the heroes, while I'm forced to sit around in my cathedral waiting to get killed. Of course, I decided that I wasn't having any of that crap. When my former party finally gets to the cathedral, after marching through suspiciously empty streets, I cut off the DM and describe the scene. The cathedral hall is practically carpeted in corpses, all of the cultists having been butchered to a man, and me sitting alone on the altar. You can see the DM is particularly giddy, ready for everyone to start rolling initiative. But nope. Screw that. I didn't increase my charisma for a spell save DC, I increased it to talk. So we talked, my character decrying the tragedy around us as the failing of the ignorant and idiotic, a perversion of my intentions. Seeing the DM's face go red at that was pretty nice. And the cleric telling me to call off the demonic invasion, that I can still do good. It was now that the DM lost it. He starts yelling at us and begins rolling initiative for us. Suddenly I'm no longer in control of my own character and he's attacking. The fight is an absolute shit show, and I'm just glad the party had a long rest between killing the Lich and fighting me. Otherwise, it would have been a slaughter. Still, the Warlock died, the fighter was unconscious, and the rogue was now permanently missing an arm. But they had pushed me into unconsciousness, and the DM described the unholy energy fleeing my body like a vortex, leaving me completely vulnerable. And the cleric, bless her heart, used her last 2 spell slots. She cast Protection from Evil on my unconscious body, and then used her last slot to heal me. The DM then describes how I grab the cleric and snap her neck. No, he doesn't. The evil spirit that was obviously possessing him had left his body and can't come back because of the protection. The cleric interrupted. What? No, you're evil, so you kill her. The DM sputtered. Obviously not. She went out of her way to save my life from the darkness, I said calmly. The DM just explodes, shouting and yelling incoherently before trying to kick us out, saying we were ruining the game for everyone else by undermining his twist villain. A twist villain he made without the villain's approval, or even knowing, mind you. Except this wasn't his house, it was the Warlock's. The Warlock then stands up and tells the DM to get out and never come back. In a fit, the DM leaves, and while I wish I could say I never saw him again, I sadly did. Our next campaign was DM'd by the Warlock's player, and 2 of the NPCs were a cleric and paladin, who had both lost almost all of their powers after the cleric used all her power to save the paladin's soul from damnation. Honestly, at the end of the day, I just don't know why the DM didn't even try to pass this by me first, and instead just tried to decide what my character was doing, without any input from me. I know there are a lot worse DMs out there, and the campaign was genuinely fun for the most part. I'm just upset about how it had to end. Thank you for listening. Before we discuss the video, one more quick word about our sponsor Audible. Audible members can choose 1 audiobook per month and unlimited Audible originals you can't hear anywhere else. Start building your audio library today, worry-free, because your audiobooks stay with you even after you cancel your Audible membership. Sign up now. Get Kings of the Wild. The narrator is amazing. His wide range of voices really gives each character their own identity and sound. Or get any audiobook you choose for free and discover an amazing narrator yourself. Visit audible.com/allthingsdnd or text allthingsdnd to 500-500. From a train wreck to a pretty fantastic ending. That was pretty brilliant of the cleric and paladin. Even after all of the DM's manipulation, they prevailed. Please let us know what you think and comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, All Things D&D. Our next video will be posted in 3 days, so stay tuned for more amazing Dungeons & Dragons content.